Namaste my dear students, welcome back to physics online class. In today's class we are going to derive an expression that connects electric field and electric potential. For this derivation, let us consider two equipotential surfaces. In the last class we have studied the concept of equipotential surface. An equipotential surface is the one over which potential has a constant value. Now let us consider two equipotential surfaces. Let it be the first equipotential surface, let it be B, and another equipotential surface like this, let it be A. Equipotential surface A and equipotential surface B. Let delta L be the separation between or distance between these two equipotential surfaces. Separation between these two equipotential surfaces is delta L. Okay, perpendicular distance between these two equipotential surfaces, let it be delta L. Okay. Now, let V be the potential. Equipotential means on the surface potential has a constant value. Now for equipotential surface A, let V be the potential. What is the meaning of that statement? At all the points on this equipotential surface A, potential will have a same value that is equal to V. Okay. Next, potential on the surface of B, equipotential surface B, V plus delta V. Okay, V plus delta V. Okay, that means at all the points potential will have a constant value that is equal to V plus delta V. Now let us consider one more condition. Now potential on the equipotential surface A is V and potential on the equipotential surface VB is V plus delta V, V plus delta V, with a condition potential at A is greater than potential at B. Okay, potential at A is greater than potential at B. That means this equipotential surface is at higher potential compared to the equipotential surface B. Okay, that means this is potential of this equipotential surface is less than potential of this equipotential surface. Now we have written VB is equal to V plus delta V, but V is nothing but potential on the surface of V. At the same time, plus delta V is there in case of VB, and we considered one more thing, that is VA is greater than VB. Is it possible to get such condition? VA is V, VB is V plus delta V, and VA greater than VB. So it is possible. Now, for example, if VA is equal to 2 volt, okay, VA is equal to 2 volt, that is potential on the surface of A at all the points on the surface A, if it is equal to 2 volt, and if potential on the surface of B is equal to some 1.8 volt, again the condition satisfies, that is VA is greater than VB here. Now this 1.8 can be written as, it is equal to 2, that is potential on the surface A 2 plus the difference between these two values is 0.2. So plus minus 0.2. Now 1.8 can be written as 2 plus minus 0.2. In the same manner we have written this equation. Potential on the surface A is greater than potential on the surface B. VA is greater than VB, but we have written VB is equal to V plus delta V, which means the meaning of these two statements is delta V is negative. Okay, delta V is negative. So the example is here, 1.8 can be written as 2 plus 0.2. Now minus 0.2 represents this delta V, that is delta V is negative in this case. Okay. So now potential on the surface A, I will write here, potential on the surface A is equal to V, potential on the surface B is equal to V plus delta V, and one more condition is there, that is potential on the surface A is greater than potential of the surface B, which means here delta V is negative. Okay, delta V is negative. Now, let us write the electric field, direction of electric field in this case. We know that electric field is directed from, in case of charges, electric field is directed from positive to negative. This is the direction of electric field. What is the meaning of this statement? Electric field is directed from higher potential region to lower. Positive means higher potential, negative means lower potential. So, the direction of electric field is from higher potential region to lower potential region. That is the meaning. Okay. So, direction of electric field is from higher to lower potential region. Now, in this case, surface A is at higher potential compared to B. Therefore, in this case, electric field is directed like this. This is the direction of electric field. Electric field is directed from A to B like this. Now, this is electric field, direction of electric field. Okay. We know that electric field is always normal to the equipotential surface. We have studied in the properties of equipotential surface. Electric field is always normal to the equipotential surface. Therefore, we have written like this. Now, this represents electric field. Okay. Now, consider a condition. Imagine a unit positive charge, that is 1 coulomb charge, is moved from or shifted from B to A. Shifting of a unit positive charge from B to A. Consider the case of shifting of unit positive charge from B to A. Electric field is nothing but, we know that electric field is nothing but it is the electrostatic force per unit charge. Okay, force per unit charge. Now, the direction of electric field is from A to B because A is at higher potential. A to B, the direction of electric field. Now, we are trying to shift a unit positive charge from B to A. Actually, force is acting on the unit positive charge from A to B. Okay, and we are trying to move unit positive charge from B to A. That means against the electric field. So, when you are shifting unit positive charge from B to A, we must apply an external force. Magnitude wise, that external force must be equal to this electric field, so that we can shift that charge, unit positive charge, from one equipotential surface to another equipotential surface with the zero acceleration. So, minimum requirement, if external force is equal to E, then we can shift the charge from here to here. Now, if unit positive charge is moved from B to A against the electric field, under that condition, work done in this process is given by, work done in shifting unit positive charge from B to A, equipotential surface B to equipotential surface A, is given by, we know the general expression for work done is equal to force into displacement. Okay. So, work done is equal to force into displacement. Now, in this case, work done is given by, work done is, or that is equal to, now what is the force? Force is the external force. Magnitude wise, that external force must be equal to electric field, that is force per unit charge. So, force is, magnitude of force is now nothing, it is nothing but magnitude of electric field. Now, what is the displacement? We are shifting the unit positive charge from B to A. Separation between the equipotential surfaces is delta L. Therefore, displacement is delta L. This is the amount of work done. Okay, take it as equation number 1. Okay, amount of work done in shifting a unit positive charge from equipotential surface B to equipotential surface A is given by this formula. Here, magnitude of electric field into separation between the equipotential surfaces gives the amount of work done. Okay, next, we know that electrostatic force is conservative force field. Therefore, in case of electrostatic force field, whatever the work done by the external force, it is stored in the form of potential energy. Now, using that concept, we can write one more expression for this amount of work done. Now, work done, again same work done in shifting unit positive charge from B to A is given by W is equal to, work done is stored in the form of potential energy. Therefore, work done is equal to final potential energy shifted from B to A. When it reaches here, potential energy of unit positive charge is nothing but potential itself. Now its potential energy is V here. So final potential energy V, okay, minus initial potential energy. When it was at A, its potential energy is V plus delta V minus V plus delta V. Okay, so amount of work done W is equal to V plus V minus V cancels, remaining is minus delta V, equation number 2. Okay, equation number 2. Left hand side is same quantity, work done in moving a unit positive charge from B to A. We have two different equations. Now from equation 1 and equation 2 we can write magnitude of electric field into separation between the equipotential surfaces E into delta L is equal to, from this equation it is equal to minus delta V, okay, minus delta V, or magnitude of electric field is equal to minus of delta V divided by delta L. Okay, electric field is equal to minus of delta V divided by delta L. Now actually this is the relation between electric field and electric potential. We can write one more step. We know that, or we consider this condition, delta V is negative. Since delta V is negative, we can add one more step here, that is electric field E is equal to, magnitude of electric field is equal to minus of minus. Now this delta V can be written as, since it is negative, delta V can be written as minus of delta V. Okay, minus of delta V, magnitude of delta V is equal to, minus into minus it becomes plus, so delta V divided by delta L. Okay, two expressions for or two equations connecting electric field and electric potential. E is equal to magnitude of delta V divided by delta L. Now, that is the relation between electric field and electrostatic potential. E is equal to delta V divided by delta L. I think it is clear. Okay. So we started with the two equipotential surfaces. Surface A at higher potential with the potential value V, surface B at lower potential with the potential value V plus delta V, where delta V is a negative value. Okay, negative. Okay. Next we consider the shifting of unit positive charge from B to A, that is against the electric field. Work done in that process, shifting of unit positive charge from B to A, is given by general formula force into displacement. Force is electric field, into displacement is the separation between the equipotential surfaces. So E into delta L. Same work done can be expressed in terms of difference in potential energy. So V minus V plus delta V. So remaining is minus delta V. From these two equations, E is equal to minus delta V divided by delta L. Okay. So that is the expression or relation between electric field and electrostatic potential. Important, you can expect this for 3 marks in board exam. Derive a relation between electric field and electric potential. Now let us consider that last expression. Now electric field E is equal to minus delta V divided by delta L. One expression, this one. Electric field is equal to, now this can be written as E is equal to minus V divided by minus delta V divided by delta L. And one more is electric field E is equal to delta V divided by delta L. Now in these two equations we have two different informations or two informations in these two expressions. Now first one is electric field is equal to minus delta V divided by delta L. Now this quantity delta V divided by delta L is nothing but difference in potential or change in potential per unit displacement. Okay, delta V divided by delta L, change, delta V represents change, delta L represents displacement. So change in potential per unit displacement, it is delta V divided by delta L, and this term is called, change in potential per unit displacement is called potential gradient. Okay, potential gradient. Now see, E is equal to negative of potential gradient. So from this expression we can write electric field, okay, electric field is negative of potential gradient, one thing, gradient. And the direction of electric field, direction or electric field is in decreasing direction of electric potential. E is equal to minus represents decrease in potential. So electric field is negative of potential gradient, or electric field is in decreasing direction of electric potential. That means if you move along the direction of electric field, potential value decreases. Here V is the value. If you move along the direction of electric field, when you reach here, potential value is V plus delta V, which is less than V. That means electric field is in decreasing direction of electric potential. Okay, that is important, decreasing direction of electric potential. One more thing is magnitude of electric field. Okay, magnitude of electric field is equal to magnitude of change in potential. Okay, magnitude of change in potential per unit displacement. So magnitude of electric field is equal to magnitude of potential gradient or magnitude of change in potential per unit displacement. So those two informations are available in those equations. Okay. So remember these points, important. Now let us consider one simple condition here, or one simple example here. See, if you consider a unit positive charge plus Q placed somewhere here, we know that in case of unit positive charge, or sorry, not unit positive charge, a positive charge of magnitude Q, in case of positive charge, electric field is radially outward. We have studied this in previous chapter. Okay, if you represent the electric field lines due to positive charge, it will be like this, radially outward. This is the direction of electric field. In the previous class, we considered equipotential surface due to a point charge. Now in case of point charge, equipotential surface is nothing but it is a spherical surface. Okay, spherical surface. Now to the distance from the surface to the point at which charge is placed is radius r. Now potential on the surface is given by V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R1 for this particular potential surface. If I consider one more equipotential surface with the larger radius, again one more sphere of larger radius, let the radius of this be R2, then potential at this point is given by V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R2. Now R2 is greater than R1, therefore V2 will be less than V1. See, at every point electric field is normal to the equipotential surface, that condition satisfies. At the same time, if you move along the direction of electric field, in this case, here potential value is V1. At this point potential value is V2, R2 is greater than R1, therefore V2 will be greater than V2 will be less than V1. That means if you move along the direction of electric field, potential value decreases. Okay. So therefore electric field is the negative of potential gradient. That is the meaning of this statement. As you move along the direction of electric field, potential value decreases. Next. Let us use the relation between electric field and potential to solve one simple problem. Now, the electric potential at a point x, y, z in space is given by the equation V is equal to 4x square plus 3x. See, potential is expressed in terms of equation at a point P, that is x, y, z. Potential is given by V is equal to 4x square plus 3x. Okay, potential is given by 4x square plus 3x. Calculate the electric, it is not electric potential, okay, it is electric field. Calculate the electric field at 1 meter, 0 meter, 2 meter. X, Y, Z values 1, 0 and 2. Calculate the electric field. Potential value is given. Now we have to calculate the potential at point 1, 0, 2. What is the value of electric field? Electric field at 1, 0, 2. We know the relation between electric field and potential. Now electric field and potential are related by E is equal to minus dV divided by dx. So actual derivation is delta V divided by delta L. Delta L represents displacement. Therefore I can use dx minus dV divided by dx. That is equal to minus of d by dx of V is 4x square plus 3x. Okay, 4x square plus 3x. Differentiate this with respect to x, we get, if it is given as y, then you have to use d by dy. That's all. So minus differentiation of 4x square is 4 into 2, 8 into x. Differentiation of 3x is 8x plus differentiation of 3x is 3. Okay, 3. So that is equal to minus of 8x minus 3, that is electric field. Electric field is this much. Now what is the electric field at this particular point? Electric field at the point 1, 0, 2 is equal to minus of 8 into x value is 1 minus 3, that is equal to minus 8 minus 3 is 11. Okay, 11. Now what is the unit? Unit of electric field, we know that unit of electric field is Newton per coulomb. You can use the same unit, Newton per coulomb. Minus of this much, that means negative value along x axis. You can add one more comment, that is along minus x axis, negative x axis. For electric potential, we can consider one more unit also here. See, electric potential or electric field is given by delta V divided by delta L. Delta V. Delta V is potential. Okay, potential. So unit of potential is volt divided by delta L is length, it is displacement, which is expressed in terms of meter, volt per meter. So you can use either volt per meter or you can use Newton per coulomb as unit of electric field. Okay. So if potential is given in this format, to find the electric field, just differentiate the equation, and if the points are given, substitute the corresponding values in the equation to calculate the electric field. Okay. Next. Next concept is potential energy of system of charges. In earlier discussion, we have studied potential energy of unit positive charge, that is electric potential in case of unit positive charge, in case of dipole. Next, we considered the superposition of principle in which we calculated the electric potential due to number of charges, n number of charges. The next concept is potential energy of system of charges. It is not the potential energy of unit positive charge, it is the potential energy of system of charges. Expression for electrostatic potential energy or electric potential energy of system of charges. Now, let us consider the case of two charges. Let Q1 and Q2 be the two charges forming a system of charges. Now, what is the electrostatic potential energy of this system of charges? What is the expression for electric potential energy of this system of charges that we are going to derive here? Okay. Now, first of all, let us consider the definition of potential energy of system of charges. Potential energy of system of charges is defined as, it is the amount of work done okay, potential energy of system of charges is the amount of work done in assembling the charges in their locations. Amount of work done in assembling the charges in their locations or at their locations is called electric potential energy. Okay. Amount of work done in assembling the charges at their locations is called potential energy of system of charges. Now, let us consider the case of system of two charges. Potential energy of system of two charges. First case, it is potential energy of system of two charges. Now, with respect to origin O, consider 2 points P1 and P2 with the position vectors R1 and R2. Position vectors R1 and R2. Okay. Now, I want to form a system of two charges that is Q1 and Q2. That means I want to place two charges, Q1 at point P1 and Q2 at point P2. Okay. To place those charges Q1 and Q2, those charges, assume that those charges are at infinity. We consider infinity as the reference point because we know that at infinity potential energy is zero. Okay, potential energy is zero. Imagine these two charges are at infinity, Q1 and Q2 are at infinity. Now, to form the system of two charges, what we have to do is, first of all, you have to shift this Q1 from infinity to point P1. Q1 reaches here. When Q1 reaches here, it is now the system of a single charge, or it is the case of an isolated charge. We want the system of two charges. In the next step, what we have to do is shift this Q2 from infinity to point P2, so that we placed two charges Q1 and Q2 at P1 and P2. Okay, P1 and P2. So it forms a system of two charges. Now, according to the definition of potential energy, amount of work done in assembling the charges at their locations itself is the potential energy of system of charges. So therefore, let us derive the expression for potential energy using this concept. Okay. Now, just to consider 2 points. I want to get two charges here, one is here, another one is here. let the separation between these 2 points be R1, 2 separation. We can take P1 and P2 points, P1 and P2. Now, first step, to form the system of two charges, in the first step, Q1 is moved from infinity to point P1. Okay, Q1 is moved from infinity to point P1, or Q1 is shifted from infinity to point P1. Okay. If W1 is the amount of work done in this process, that is amount of work done in shifting Q1 from infinity to P1, then what is the expression or what is the value of this W1? See, we just considered 2 points. Okay. In this region, no other charge is available, no source charge. If there is no charge, there is no electric field. That means there is no electrostatic force. While shifting this Q1 from infinity to point P1, there is no opposing force. I think it is clear. In this region, the region which we want to assemble two charges, there is no other charge, there is no electric field. Therefore, while shifting Q1 from infinity to point P1, there is no opposing force. If there is no opposing force, external force is not necessary to shift Q1 from infinity to point P1. External force is not necessary. If external force is not necessary, force is 0. We know that work done is equal to force into displacement. In this case, displacement is there, but force is 0. Therefore, work done W1 is equal to 0. Because we shifted Q1 from infinity to point P1. The point P1, in this region there is no electric field or opposing force. Therefore, amount of work done in shifting charge Q1 from infinity to point P1 is equal to 0. External force is not necessary for this process. Next, if you consider the second step, okay, what is the second step? Second step is shifting the charge Q2 from infinity to point P2. Now, we already at the end of first step, we already shifted charge Q1 from infinity to point P1. Now, Q1 is here. Okay. When Q1 is here, when Q1 is placed at P1, now Q1 is a charge. We know that a charge produces electric field in its surrounding region. Inside an electric field at any point, we know that there will be some potential value. What is potential? Amount of work done in bringing unit positive charge from infinity to a given point. Now Q1 is there. It produces an electric field in its surrounding region. Due to that electric field, potential at P2 due to charge Q1, okay, charge Q1, potential at P2, point P2 is given by V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, it is a point charge, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into magnitude of charge is Q1 divided by R12. While shifting Q1 in this region, there was no other charge, therefore no potential, no electric field, no work done, no external force, everything is 0, therefore work done is 0. But now, after placing Q1 produces electric field in its surrounding region. That means at P2 there will be an electric field produced by Q1. Due to that, at this point potential is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 divided by R12. Now what is this V or potential? It is nothing but it is the amount of work required to shift a unit positive charge from infinity to point P against the electric field produced by Q1. Now consider the second step. Okay, second step. In the second step, Q2 is shifted from infinity to point P. Okay, Q2 is shifted from infinity to point P. Now, to shift unit positive charge from infinity to point P2, amount of work done is equal to V. Okay, amount of work done is V. Work done required or work required is equal to V. We know the relation between electric field and electric potential. In earlier classes, I have mentioned this equation. W or potential V is equal to W divided by Q, or W is equal to Q into V. In case of unit positive charge, work done. In case of charge of magnitude Q, amount of work done is given by product of magnitude of charge and potential. Now, to shift unit positive charge from infinity to P, amount of work done is this much. Therefore, work done in shifting Q2 from infinity to point P2 against the electric field, I'll represent it as W2, can be written as W2 is equal to Q into V is the expression, Q into V. Now W2 is equal to Q, the charge that is shifted is Q2 here, into potential value, that is V. Potential value V. So that is equal to Q2 into 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 divided by R12. Okay, Q2 divided by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught R12. That means it is equal to, or W2 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 into Q2 divided by R12. Now we have two equations. W2 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R12, and W1 is equal to 0. Work done in shifting first charge from infinity to point P1, W1 is equal to 0. First charge after reaching the point P1 produces electric field, due to that a potential is produced at this point. Potential is nothing but work done per unit charge. Therefore, work done in shifting Q2 from infinity to point P2 is equal to charge into potential. So if you multiply this, we get W2 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R12. So with the help of work W1 and W2, we placed two charges here. Now Q2 reaches here. Now this forms the system of two charges. Okay, this forms the system of two charges. So with the help of W1 and W2 work, we formed this system of charges. Now according to the definition of electric potential energy, amount of work done in assembling, we assembled Q1 and Q2 at their locations. So amount of work done in assembling Q1 and two charges at their locations is the potential energy. Therefore I'll write here, therefore total amount of work done, W is equal to W1 plus W2, which means W is equal to 0 plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R12. Okay, total amount of work done, W is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R12. So by definition of potential energy, work done itself is the potential energy. Therefore, potential energy of system of two charges is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R12. This is the expression for potential energy of system of two charges. Okay, so total work done in assembling the charges, W1 plus W2. W1 is 0, therefore W is equal to Q1 Q2 divided by R12 into 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught. By definition, amount of work done in assembling the charges is the potential energy. Therefore, potential energy is equal to Q1 Q2 divided by R12. Now this equation holds good for positive charges as well as negative charges. okay, or charges of opposite polarity. If the charge is negative, then you will get negative potential energy. If charge is positive, you will get positive potential energy. So this is the expression for potential energy of system of two charges. Okay, I'll stop the discussion here. In the next class, let us derive one more expression, that is potential energy of system of three charges. Instead of two charges, we have to assemble three charges, and what is the amount of work done in that process? It represents potential energy of that system. Let us discuss it in next class. Thank you.